Right then guys, welcome to the latest YouTube video. So today we're going to run through a lower session. So I know I went through my lower B session in the last video. This is the lower A session. So I've just obviously made my pre. So the pre-workout meal is cream of rice. It's 100 grams of cream of rice. It's 160 grams of berries, so 80 grams of blueberries and 80 grams of raspberries. It's 20 grams of dark chocolate, 2 grams of pink salt, 1 gram of low salt, and 45 grams of the CMP Spooky Toffee Whey, which I don't need to go on about anymore because I've spoke about how good it is numerous times. I didn't film me making the cream of rice. I make it in the morning, so apologies for that. Cream of rice I make in the morning. Literally just boil the kettle, and then I leave it like 5 minutes after it's boiled, and then I just use that, and it makes it perfectly. Then I put it in the fridge with the chocolate, and then that is the pre-meal. So I'm going to get this down and then head off to warehouse for the lower session, and I will chat you through what we're doing. So guys, I'm going to run you through the lower A session here. So in the two previous videos, I've ran through the lower B and the upper A. So the other lower session at warehouse and then my upper session at Evo Fitness in Leicester. So this is the third of sort of the series going through my new training program of the upper lower split. And then next week's video, I will cover the session that we have at Ultraflex. So first thing, again, on legs, we start off with calves. So I'll do on one session, like I said in the last video, I'll do a standing or a knee extended variation, which is going to target a little bit more the gastrocnemius. And then in this session, we target a little bit more the soleus with the knee being bent. So like I said last time, that's just because the soleus doesn't cross through the knee joint. So yeah, I'll do a rest pause set there, generally work between sort of 8 and 12 reps and 3 fail points, and do it blood flow restricted as well, trying to get as much out of as little for the calves, try to find a way to try and make them grow, which to be fair, it's just going to be consistency because I'm training them more consistently than I ever have. Then we go on to the Live Fitness seated hamstring curls. So exactly the same setup as the other leg day. So start on calves and then second exercise is hamstring curls. So ideally, I would have an adductor between, but my right adductor is still playing up. So it's straight into the hamstring curl. And this is the best hamstring curl that the gym has. So we do it twice. Simple as that. I get to hit this hamstring curl twice every 7 days. Over the course of a month, I'm generally doing this between 8 and 10 times. If I can progress it by a rep, at least a session. Recently, I've been adding like 5 kilos to the pin each time and getting a match reps or losing a rep. My hamstrings are going to grow, simple as that. And it's a really nice hamstring curl. Just getting used to it now after we just got used to the Cybex at Progress Works. But yeah, I really like this Live Fitness hamstring curl. It's a very, very good one. So again, similar setup in terms of the first set is the loading set where I'm pushing away from the pad to sort of create as much stability as possible. And yes, there's going to be a little bit of erector involvement, but the goal is to just load the hamstrings as much as we can with as much weight as possible for a rep range generally between sort of 7 and 10. And then the back off set will pull into the seat to take any erector involvement out of it, get more, generally let's say more internal feel, more stimulus with the hamstrings, and more metabolic stress as we work in a higher rep range closer to that 12 to 15 kind of reps. So then we go on to a hinge. So I have slight sort of issues at the minute. You might have seen on my Instagram with my scapula, where I have my left side, I have like a winging scapula, and it almost like creates like a bit of a gap in my back. And my right side, my right shoulder rolls forward due to a tight pec minor. So for me to hold a bar in front of me makes that problem a lot worse because I can't lock in quite as well because the shoulders already want to roll forward. Whereas if I have my grip as a neutral grip like on this, it works so much better for me. So that's why I'm doing my hinge variation on the machine like this. So I'm doing a machine hinge versus like a barbell deadlift or RDL. So I'm still getting used to this, still cleaning it up. But generally, I'm trying to sort of create a movement very similar to an RDL, so minimal knee flexion. Difference is I'm tapping at the bottom of each one just to standardize every single rep, and obviously we've got that neutral grip, which for me feels so much better. I can stay so much tighter, I can move a lot more load, and I feel safe on it compared to a barbell, and I feel like I can actually progress it, unlike with a barbell, where I just get to the point where I'll run it up a bit, and then I just start to lose tightness and start to aggravate my sciatica, start to have worse issues with my upper back and my scapula, and I just get to the point where I really struggle to progress a barbell hinge further, whereas this feels like it's something I can probably progress quite nicely. So I have a heavy set of like a 5 to 9, and I ended up getting 10, went 5 kilos up a side and got 10, so soon enough I'll be able to, I'll go 4.5 next week for top set. Soon enough I'll be doing 5 plates, which will be pretty cool. And then I do a 5x5 muscle round, sort of cluster set, on a plate down each side, and I'll keep that going. And it's very tough. That obviously we're just accumulating more volume, trying to get as many effective reps as possible on a decent weight. You know, there's no chance that I'd be able to get 25 continuous reps on this weight, but I can get it by having 5 rounds of 5 reps with 20 seconds between. And it's very, very tough. After this, I'm absolutely done. And then we've still got the whole rest of the session to finish off. But I need more hamstrings, I need more glutes, I need a bigger back, I need more density through the whole posterior chain. And this, like I say, hinge, I feel like I can progress. That should hopefully provide all of that. So then we go on to a leg press. So we don't have a squat variation in this leg session, just because we obviously have the hinge, and that takes out sort of a lot of our energy going into the session. So we have a leg press. So I did use the Watson leg press last week, but it seems to make my adductor issue a lot worse. So I jumped on this leg press, which is outside at the gym, and it felt a lot better. I wasn't having any sort of niggles in my adductor, and I felt like I could actually progress it. So what I'm doing here is, if you can see, I've got a couple of plates just underneath where the weight, like the weight taps. So what I'm doing there is I'm making sure that I tap every rep, and I'm obviously reducing the range slightly of the whole machine. They've not got like safety pins to clip on, so I'm basically creating my own sort of safety pins to tap on at the height that I want, so that I can standardize every rep and I know that the depth is the exact same. And also so that I'm not getting to the point where I'm like losing tightness, where I'm trying to drop too low, and also sort of aggravating my my adductor even more. So this depth felt really nice. Potentially when my adductor is a little bit better, the depth might be able to improve, but for now it's feeling good. I do just one all-out set here, and we're trying to keep the reps as continuous as possible for as long as possible. And then when we feel like I can't get another rep with constant tension, I'll take one breath and then I'll go again. But I'm only letting myself have one breath, absolute maximum at the top, just so that the set doesn't extend and I can just go for 10 minutes by just taking 30 seconds between each rep and doing one. It's not going to be very easy to standardize that and progress it accurately. So constant tension for as long as possible, and then maximum one breath, and then go to absolute failure. I ended up having just one forced rep with Reese, but this felt a lot better, and again I feel like I can progress this over time, whereas with the Watson it was just aggravating my adductor too much. So then we go on to a single leg press. So sort of like it's almost like in a pendulum motion, this leg press. With this we do rest pause, so one set again, just all out but as a rest pause, so aiming for about 12 to 15 reps. Again, constant tension, try not to lock out and sort of extend the set through resting at the top and making it easier. Once I hit failure, I'll then take 15 seconds rest and then go again to failure on the same leg. With my right adductor being obviously not 100%, the left side feels it's a lot easier. So I only match it on the left side. So because my right side's got a little bit of a niggle, I'll do that side first because it's generally a bit weaker and the control isn't quite as good out of the hole. So whatever I get on my right side, I will then match on my left. And then over time, hopefully when my adductor gets better, I can then work out which side is actually the weakest. Do the weaker side first and match it on the stronger side, so that over time that weaker side can catch up. That's the hope anyway. So then we go on to a leg extension. So we do a triple rest pause here. So again, just one set. It's, you know, a lot of these sessions, or a lot of like our style training is one set or maximum 2 sets, but giving it absolutely everything you've got, to the point where you think at the end of that set, I can't get anything else out of this machine or this exact movement. You know, so after we've done this leg extension, we do a triple rest pause, and then we finish off with a 30-second stretch, which you'll see in a second. And realistically, after that, my quads have got absolutely nothing. So for me to do another set would just be a waste of time, because it's just going to be so suboptimal. I've not got enough energy sort of centrally or within that given muscle to really get anything out of another set. So that's why, you know, a lot of this style training is 1 set or 2 sets, just because you're putting absolutely everything into every single rep of every single set and rinsing the muscle for everything that it's got, that you almost get to the point where it's like, well, to do another set, you'd either have to rest 10-15 minutes to try and get a half decent set again, or you're just going to go and have a suboptimal set, and it almost is going to become sort of a bit of junk volume and just doing it for the sake of it. Are you actually going to, you know, progress that set and get a lot out of that set? Probably not. That 30-second stretch is horrendous as well. So literally just sitting into my heels and sort of thrusting my hips forward as much as I can to create as much of a stretch in my quads as possible. Yeah, it's brutal. Then we literally just finish off with a little bit of sort of accessory work, so a side lateral movement, and then a couple of bicep movements. So we just jump on the lateral raise machine, and there we'll do a loading set, so 1 heavy set, and then a back off set, which is a rest pause with partials and an isometric hold. So sort of extending the set just to get absolutely everything out of the side delts in sort of the shortened range, and then taxing them out in the lengthened range as well. And then we finish off with a hammer curl. Generally we'll just do 1 set, and I'll take it all the way to failure, even with partials. So I'll get to the point where I can't get it fully short, and I'll just get what I can. I'll get it as short as I can. I've been getting 15 reps on this, and over the weeks getting more full reps. So I'll log it as, like, the week before was 8 plus 7 reps, then the week after was 9 plus 6 partial reps. So that's how I'll progress it over time. And then we finished off with the a muscle round on a straight bar cable curl. So 6 sets of 6 reps with pretty much like 10-20 seconds between. Ideally, I would do it with 10 seconds, but with training with Reese, like, I go, he goes, I go, he goes. So we kind of, that's how it paces it out. So it's longer than 10 seconds. But yeah, that was the whole session. So any questions on any of that, please feel free to ask. The next episode of this little series where I'm going through all my training will be the upper B session, which will be our ultra flex session, our upper one. So any sort of thing you want to ask about this session, please feel free. But if you want to know about the other final session, that'll be next week's episode. Okay, guys, but that's everything. So thank you all for watching. Like, subscribe, and I will see you all in the next video.